Now, how does groupthink work in a church? Well, let me give you an example. I had a friend that worked with us, and he knew that I kept the dietary laws in Leviticus 11. And one day he asked me, he said, why do you keep those? I noticed you don't eat pork, you don't eat certain things. Why? And I didn't preach at him. I didn't say you got to do this. I just said, well, it's Leviticus 11 where it separates clean from unclean meats. God created scavengers that are not meant for human consumption, and He created clean beasts that were meant for human consumption. That's basically all I said. And well, what happened is, over a period of time, his wife would pack him a ham sandwich. Every day was some type of something. And eventually he came to me, he said, David, I'm feeling guilty because every day all I do is eat this pork, this ham, this whatever it may be, and I'm feeling guilty about eating this. Now again, mind you, I had not preached to him. I was not trying to get him to believe like I believe. I just said, this is the reason I don't do it, Leviticus 11. And his conviction was working on his heart because he felt guilty for eating unclean meats. Now what happened to this guy is he joined a church. He joined a Baptist church. And over a period of time, it took about a year, his conviction faded away because he was in a groupthink where when he would mention this about the dietary laws, they would tell him, oh no, that's Mosaic, that's Old Testament, it doesn't matter, all you got to do is just say praise you Jesus over this possum that you're about to eat, and it's clean all of a sudden, and so that's what he was getting from his groupthink. And eventually he lost his conviction. By the power of groupthink, he lost his conviction. Now, question, which is more important, the groupthink in a church or the conviction and leadership of the Holy Spirit? What do you think? What is more important? Now, a lot of you will say, well, they're one and the same thing. My church is led by the Holy Spirit. Don't kid yourself in that area. Do not kid yourself. Which is more important? The groupthink of a church or the individual conviction and leadership of the Holy Spirit? The two are not the same. The groupthink of a church and conviction and leadership of the Holy Spirit can be two opposites. They can be. Not always, but it can be. They can be going in opposite directions. Not always, but it can be. Groupthink is very powerful in church. We would rather maintain our togetherness than question whether this thing that we are believing is true or not, you see. What we are believing might be a lie, but for the sake of unity in the church, we're not going to look into this. We're not going to study into this. We're not going to blow the dust off our Bibles and see, well, what does the Bible really say? We're just going to keep our unity and togetherness in a church. Now, Jesus never spoke of the power of groupthink as a good thing. In fact, he said this. He said in Matthew 10 and verse 36, a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Yeah, you're not going to have this togetherness even in your own family system. And that's what Jesus is saying. A man's foe shall be they of his own household. So forget groupthink. Jesus did not speak positive of it. Psalms 118 verse 8 says this, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. So how much confidence are you placing in your group?
Check us out on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.com.